fan because I called his coming out fight against Bradis Prescott.
He's special.
And then various other stepping stones throughout his career.
I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1,000%. Absolutely right.
I also think Canelo is slowing down.
I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm just being generous.
You know, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really. And the way he did it and, you know, the class that...
Joe Rogan's reaction to Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez is electric. He highlights how Crawford thrives on doubt, using it as fuel to elevate his game. Rogan praises Crawford's slick style and pinpoint striking, asserting that this win cements his status as one of boxing's most skilled fighters. A tweet from Bont Hill even claims Crawford could beat any version of Floyd Mayweather, reflecting how his performance has redefined his legacy and sparked discussions about surpassing the undefeated legend.
Get ready to subscribe totally to that because, again, you're talking about somebody who is stubborn. And
for sure.
Who wants to prove everything he can prove.
100%. I agree with that too. But I think there's like in boxing and certainly in MMA, there's a certain amount of years where a fighter can keep the RPMs up. And, you know, when they're in the red line, and there's some people subscribe to the idea of 9 years. There's 9 years is the most that a elite fighter in MMA has performed at their prime. I think that's a bullshit number because I think it's entirely dependent upon lifestyle, nutrition, discipline, physical attributes. There's a lot of factors.
George Foreman won the heavyweight championship of the world in boxing at age 45.
True, but he took 10 years off.
Yes.
Gareth, a seasoned boxing commentator, lauded Crawford's performance as one of the most extraordinary in boxing history. Despite moving up 3 weight classes, being older than Canelo, and returning after over a year away, Crawford displayed mastery, skill, and composure rarely seen. His resilience and excellence under such circumstances made this a once-in-a-lifetime performance. Shakur Stevenson echoed this sentiment, praising Canelo's courage, and emphasizing that true greatness involves risking it all against the best.
Did throughout the course of the week. We said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards. He was able to do it forwards. He could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes to go.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him, mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did. And he needs all the flowers in the world. He needs all the praise in the world. And I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound-for-pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top of the chart.
Yeah, he's become... There's an argument that he becomes an all-time great with that performance, like you say, because the majesty, the poise, the presence all week, the pinpoint accuracy of everything he did in there, to the fact that in the end, Canelo was frustrated and knew he couldn't do anything to Crawford, and he started...
Visibly frustrated, wasn't it?
No, visibly frustrated that he started to do a weird kind of showboating because he didn't have any answers for what was happening and unfolding in front of him. I think Terence Crawford has rubber-stamped himself as an all-time great tonight, and I want to revise a view on him. I wondered whether he would have been capable of beating Floyd Mayweather at welterweight.
Oh, you're going for it now, aren't you?
And I think, yeah, we got to. I think he may well have done.
Paulie Malignaggi underscored the historic nature of Crawford's achievement, highlighting his rare feat of becoming an undisputed champion across 4 divisions. Comparing Crawford's dominance to Floyd Mayweather's era, Malignaggi declared that Crawford's victory signals the start of a new chapter, his era. This fight wasn't just about belts, it marked a seismic shift in boxing's landscape, with Crawford emerging as the defining figure of his generation.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather, and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous, tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do? You know, it'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know, but let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Devin Haney's reaction cut straight to the point. Crawford was dominant to the extreme. He dismissed the idea that Canelo had a foothold in the fight, estimating that Canelo won at most 3 or 4 rounds. Haney's assessment was a challenge, highlighting just how decisive Crawford's performance was and suggesting that even the sport's top young champions now see Canelo as a step below his former self.
How'd you score it, Devin?
I didn't give Canelo more than like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 if I'm being generous.
Can't get away from this
Maybe
fucking
4.
crowd.
Are you shocked or not?
Hey, right here to my left.
Are you shocked or not?
No, I'm not shocked. I knew that.
A boxing fan tweeted a message of respect. True competitors are champions. There's no loss in chasing glory. The post praised both Crawford and Canelo, emphasizing that the true spirit of a warrior lies in courage and dedication. Bill Haney's comment that Crawford's dismantling of Canelo was even easier than his victory over Spence underscored Crawford's increasing ability to neutralize elite opponents with ease, making each victory appear more effortless and historic.
Result.
Exactly. And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Earl Spence. Didn't look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance.
Brilliant performance. Man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bo Mack, and that whole team, man. You know what I mean?
Where'd you rank him all-time list after that?
I mean, put his face on Mount Rushmore. You get what I'm saying? He deserves his place, for sure.
Did you score it, Bill?
Yeah, I scored it a lot for Crawford and a very little for Canelo, if any. I don't know.
112.
I don't know. I mean, I could pick 1 or 2. I could pick 1 or 2 in there or something like that.
I know it's straight after the fight. But do you want to see Crawford go out on that, or do you think there'll be a rematch?
No, I don't hear a bunch of partying going on. It sounds like a funeral home in Allegiant Stadium. Did Crawford win? It sounds like it's a funeral home. Look, you see over there. You see it's quiet. It's quiet as shit. Yeah. Is it a holiday or what? Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, that's a Crawford fan. He's Mexican. Now, listen. Hey, y'all know what's up. Crawford did it. And only person that's talking is me. November 22nd. If you don't want to hear nothing else, Crawford is great. November 22nd.
Another fan pointed out that Crawford, despite being out of his prime and older than Canelo, beat him fair and square, no catch weights, no excuses. This highlights the significance of Crawford's achievement, proving that despite the odds, he proved himself superior through skill, strategy, and heart. Analysts agree that this wasn't just about belts, it was about legacy. With this win, Crawford firmly claimed his spot among boxing's all-time greats, elevating himself in the ongoing debate about the sport's best.
You need rehydrate, you need this. No, you don't. If you're actually a man who is willing to, challenge himself and not a little boy who's afraid, then yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And Terence Crawford did it, and he did it damn well. credit to Terence Crawford. Absolutely. Honestly, I'm still... Because for me, although I was picking Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, and although I've been a fan of Canelo Alvarez for many, many years, he was one of the main guys who got me into boxing. I have loved Terence Crawford, loved watching him fight for years and years and years. I remember staying up at the time, and I actually made sure to get the HBO feed to get his fight with Victor Postal. And I remember, it wasn't one of his more entertaining fights, but I remember just being like, just in awe of the skill and ability of Terence Crawford at the time. I remember Bob Arum, they're both run by Top Rank, when people were saying, oh, could Loma fight Terence Crawford? And Bob Arum said that would be suicide. It would have been suicide. Could you imagine? Good Lord. I can't put into words how happy I am to be proven wrong, because I love watching Terence Crawford. I think he is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And it's really fit, right? And I love Canelo Alvarez, right? But it's really fitting that at the top of boxing, we have two of the most honest champions, honest men you could ever see, you could ever imagine. And that being Alexander Usyk and Terence Crawford, two friends. And I think they really sum up this era of boxing. If we are coming to the end of it as a whole, I think they really sum it up that if you're dedicated to your profession and you're willing to stay disciplined and you're willing to...
Joe Rogan's passionate reaction emphasizes Crawford's greatness. He notes that Crawford isn't just a skilled striker but also possesses the mentality and adaptability of a wrestler, making him an even more dangerous fighter. Rogan highlights the incredible feat of moving up in weight and dominating a top-tier opponent, comparing it to historic moments in boxing. In his view, Crawford's performance surpasses even legendary feats like Hagler's, cementing his place among the sports elite with flawless execution.
But that is Majumov was really good.
Yeah,
he's really fucking good.
But I just think Crawford is, it's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47, right?
Now
it goes to 54, and now he's going to 68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terence is, I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my favorite.